Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BizzTalk Africa. I'm your host, Jason Schuster, and I'm here with my co-host, Viddy Mike. How are you, Viddy?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing well. Where are you calling in from today?
I am in a very wet, Ida-infested Tampa. Not as bad as our folks in New York City and New Orleans. Sorry for everyone. And anyhow, we can help. Just reach out.
Excellent. Glad you're safe, Viddy. And we're also here today with our wonderful guest, Sabina from Afritech Hub. Sabina, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Hi, Jason. Hi, Vidya.
Hi.
Hello there. I'm doing very well. Thank you. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. And Sabina, tell the audience, where are you calling in from today?
Douala, Cameroon in West Africa.
Oh, wow. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't think we've had a guest from Cameroon yet. I think that this is our first,
this
right?
This is our first, yes.
Yeah. Excellent.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
No pressure. Excellent. Now, Sabina is here, like I said, from Afritech Hub. She's the co-founder and president. And our today's topic is critical thinkers and innovators through STEM. And I'm really excited for this topic because STEM is a subject that I love to talk about, and critical thinking is a subject I love to talk about. So I'm really excited. Getting us started, Sabina, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, and then after maybe a few minutes, just tell the audience a little bit about Afritech Hub. What do you guys do? So
first of all, thank you again for having me on the show. I feel really honored. And yeah, I like to start by telling people what I'm not. So growing up, I watched the news so often. I thought I was going to be a journalist, but clearly I'm not. So what I am is I have a background in computer engineering, and I have been working in the telecommunications sector as a data analyst for a telecommunications company called iEngineering, based in Douala, Cameroon. And in addition to that, as you rightly said, Jason, I co-founded Afritech Hub, which is summarily an initiative to develop, to build critical thinkers and innovators using STEM methods and STEM modules. And I think in addition to that, also I write a little now and then about anything that connects with my
sort of journalism. It's still there, right? I mean, it's still there.
Yeah, and I think that's it from my end. And also, okay, I have to talk about Afritech Hub as well. Afritech Hub, so like I already mentioned, we my organization that was created in 2019, and what we do primarily is so students have the tendency of saying that or feeling that STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is boring, and they get frustrated, and they get they kind of stereotype about STEM. And so we thought that, myself and a few of my friends thought that we could make STEM interesting by delivering the same type of things that have been done in school STEM, but in a fun, interactive, and comfortable environment to really make the students comfortable and see the importance of STEM.
Do you know, this is a topic that's very close to my heart. I'm an investor, and I sit on the board for a company in the UK that does specifically this. And we had done a number of programs in Africa with Crystal Television, and it is focused on STEM. It is about, trying to sort of engage young people. Now, what we did is we invited companies like engineering companies, Boeing, and those guys to take one little component and link it back to their education curriculum so that they could see, do you know what? It's not a waste of time learning this stupid formula that is this long. Like, when would I ever need that? And when they started, because education does not do that, right? Education does not link all these boring long things. How are you going to use it? And when you actually see the magic happens, I think like young people need that. They need to see that link, and they create. It becomes vibrant. It becomes exciting. This is what games do. When they get a new game, they actually, try to learn it. They understand it. They understand how to cheat with it, and they get a result. Education doesn't do that. Education become the most boring thing right now. And I think like what you're doing is inspirational and wonderful.
Oh, Sabina, did we lose you? I think we might have lost.
Oh my
Sabina.
God! Was this something I said?
I don't think so. I think we just might have a poor connection. But okay, so this is interesting. We'll keep talking a little bit while we're waiting for Sabina to get back in. A common theme that we've seen. Oh, there's Sabina. Hi.
Unmute.
Oh, you're muted, Sabina.
Okay, I apologize for that. I don't know what happened. Internet connection here is crazy.
That's all right. That's all right.
So are we going to start back, or we just pick up from where we left?
Yeah, we just continue on.
Go ahead.
As normal. No problem.
Keep on going.
Okay.
So yeah, tell us a little bit more about Afrotech Hub. What tell us how that's going so far.
Okay, so far it has been interesting. We've had a lot of positive feedback from the students that we've worked with and the institutions that we've worked with, and we are getting some pushback. But like everything has challenges. We're getting some pushback from mostly public schools, and which is funny because originally we started off with the ambition to work primarily with the public schools because we imagined that they did not have the tools, did not have the technology and the tools to support their students. And so we were very excited to work with them, but the challenges from that end has been, but that makes us more determined. And we are very excited about what we're going to do, and just waiting to see how the students get whatever knowledge that they get from the Afrotech Hub and our programs, and see how they're going to use it to be better people in the future.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Now you said you're getting some pushback from public schools. Is that really just is it teachers? Is it administrators? Is it local government? How are parents reacting to what you're doing? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, so the thing is, I don't know how it is in the US, but in Cameroon, I think in Africa in general, we have very bureaucratic systems. So
for the most part.
So a lot of protocol, and it's usually very difficult to make decisions at the decentralized levels. So you need to go to the top, and then from there they can delegate, give permission for you to work in other schools, which is a challenge for us, because each time we approach any institution, a public institution, they want to know if you have permission, which we do. We are legalized, we are registered, and we can work in in Cameroon, but receive that. The parents have been, a lot of parents have been very excited. Yeah, I have them, reach out to us on social media. They call us and leave us emails, on how they can how they can support and how their students their children can benefit from the programs.
I have just went on your website and I have subscribed to become a mentor, and I promise to duly help all my mentees, no problem. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm reading through your website.
That's how Vidi rolls every time. I love it so much, Vidi. I love the way you do things.
I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Thank you.
So folks out there, afritech.com, AFRITECHH.com. You go online and you'll see there's it's dominated by women mentors. Come on, guys, what does it say for you? Come on,
Right.
rock up. You've got to sign up for this. But you know, Sabina, here's
Yeah.
the thing, right? Your audience is the young people. The people
Yeah.
you are going to touch are, it's what they are the next generation. They're the ones who's going to make this world happen. Okay.
Absolutely.
So whilst it's good, you know, okay, folks, from a regulatory framework watching this, I'm really sorry what I'm going to say, but sometimes you just have to ignore them, right? Because education knows no boundaries. There is a reason why the best encyclopedia and source of information in this world is YouTube,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it is bringing to people information that they want to be able to grow themselves. And the fact that you're actually, pulling together a program focused on STEM and starting to encourage young people in a focused manner and get them moving, it's phenomenal. I mean, people should be embracing it, and I will do whatever I can to help you guys, because this is where
Thank
this,
you.
this is where it's at. This is exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah, so I agree with what you're saying, and thank you very much for your support, Vidya. And so I honestly, I wasn't surprised, at this reaction. I actually expected it. And it's made myself and the entire team to work even harder, because when we started, seeing from when we started in 2019 up until now 2021 to 2022, we have reached a large number of people. We've impacted at least 3,000 people already, and we are getting their attention. So I am not, I'm not, I'm not scared about the future. I'm not uncertain. I know that with time, they're going to understand the importance of this, and they're going to welcome us to the system, because at the end of the day, the goal is for us to integrate this after school STEM programs and the STEM curriculum into the traditional system of education. I mean, we have seen that the system doesn't work. The traditional system of education, where the teachers are the experts and they have like pre-arranged questions and answers, and students don't have the liberty to think. Critical thinking is absent. And yeah, I think that with the way the world is moving and the digitalization and everything, they are beginning to understand the importance of what we are doing. And very soon they're going to be very embracive of us.
Let's dive deeper into critical thinking, right?
Hold on a second, Betty. I think we lost Sabina again.
And for folks who's looking at this show out there, if you are in telecoms, please could you improve the telecommunications in Africa, because this is a problem.
It is, and honestly, it's one of those things where it's a common problem that our guests talk about, and
Absolutely.
it's a huge opportunity. Whoever can solve the problem will absolutely crush it. Will be a billionaire, no question.
Beautifully said. But the thing is, right? Here we are. We have Sabina back.
Hey, Sabina, you're muted again. It's okay, and you don't have to. Oh, you're muted, Sabina. Sorry. There we
I apologize again.
Not to worry.
For today.
So I was gonna ask. Let's dive deeper into critical thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, you're touching on a very important topic, and something that I always say as well, because sometimes the more something is given to you, the less you develop your ability to think, right? So the problem with some of these school curriculums is that it's so rigid that you're just going through the motions. But what happens in real life, right? You're like, you have a problem. How do young people face that problem? Because the answers are not there. It's not going to be step by step. It's going to be, hey, I'm a problem. What are you going to do about it? So how did you guys come up with things with focusing on that critical thinking? What was the inspiration?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, Vidya, because I realized that growing up in Africa, and I think that particularly in Cameroon, there's the idea that there's a very limited amount of jobs. And so we have a lot of students who go through the education system, they go through university, and then they're not able to get jobs, right? So there's a bottleneck. We have, all this number graduating from schools, and then, a very, very small amount of this number getting jobs. And so I realized that the problem was not that we did not have the potential to occupy the spaces, because we weren't given the skills back in school to enable us to be useful to the labor market and to employers. So we go through the traditional system. You're not taught to identify problems in the society. The problem, you're not curious about anything. You just go through, the standard, like you said, the rigid structures. Everything is given to you. You just reproduce the same thing in the assessments. And that is the reason why, even when we manage to get into the workforce with this same limited mentality, we are unable to perform. And so I started working, and I realized that there are actually opportunities, especially in the STEM fields, but there aren't people who are talented enough to take up these spaces. And that made me determined to solve this problem from the fundamental level, so the really young people and then older people, by giving them 21st century skills like graphics designing, critical thinking, and all of that, and the younger ones to incorporate STEM education into their curriculum.
Very interesting.
Absolutely.
So would you say that there's more resistance to teaching kids how to critically think, or is it inspiring them to be innovators through STEM that's a bigger issue? Like why, let me ask the question differently. What is really the resistance? What is the core of why? Because what you're doing is, clearly it would have a positive impact and a positive outcome, but what about the process is the real problem? Where are people saying, oh, I don't like that, or this seems too scary? I don't know.
So I think, to answer your question, the simple answer is people are resistant to change. It's human nature.
Fair.
And even though clearly they see the benefits of this, they imagine that it's a lot more work. And the truth is that it's a lot more work. You have to put in the work. You have to give the students this scenarios, real world scenarios, and guide them through the process. It's a lot harder than just giving them predefined lessons and dictating everything and giving them, things from centuries ago for them to memorize and reproduce the assessment. It's a lot more work, but the effects are they're more impactful to this to the 21st century and the labor market. So I think the resistance is not because people don't want the change or they're not cognizant of the benefits. It's just human, and they need. Sorry, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I think they need some sort of direction from maybe the government, and empowering. You can ask instructors to just go ahead and teach in a certain type of way if they aren't empowered. So the problem is from higher levels of the government. It's a policy thing.
Well, I mean, yes, but I mean, like I sort of, I can see where the government challenges are. You have a population, a massive population. This is globally, right? And I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. Happy Independence, Trinidad and Tobago, for this week. But I spent most of my life in the UK, so God bless the Queen. Now the thing is with education is finding that balance, right? Not all economies could afford to have the private school, could afford to have the, be able to segregate kids who have different learning skills to actually get to that stage. And I think it is not only the empowerment, it is just the sheer scale at what you actually have to do. And I think there's some kids, you have to find that mean and be able to fit a curriculum for that mean. But there are always, the main problem with that is you have some bright stars that can't get the development that they require. And I was very fortunate in the school I went to, because the teachers love their job. They will teach the curriculum, and out of their own, without being paid extra, they will be like, you're very smart. Stay, come back in the evening. And you're thinking like, you really don't want to show anybody that you're smart, because you know you're going to be there quite late. And they encourage you to learn more. But you know, Jason, it's a real interesting balance here, right? It's a government, it's parents, it's what people have available. But I think like the teachers as well, they get into that role of teaching because they want to teach young people. But you know, like society's changed a lot, right? In the days where teachers had the freedom to be able to reprimand or give them homework or whatever, I think now is like health and safety issue. It's this, it's that. We've made things so complicated in this world that you're afraid to give an opinion. You're afraid to do what you should do. And I think like what you're doing, Sabina, in terms of actually bridging that gap and finding those bright kids and sparking off something exciting, it's a real good fit.
Okay, so Vidya, the thing is that I agree totally with what you're saying. I agree completely, but the thing is that we're not trying to select the bright students.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's anyone you're there to encourage students, right?
To encourage
just
students.
Understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
You're just giving them the tools to explore what they find interesting. That was just an example, but I get you.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the thing, because if the reason why I'm really passionate about this, about talking about STEM and creating awareness, is because people have a general notion that STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics are reserved for the brightest, the most hardworking, and all of that, and it kind of puts that bridge, especially women, especially girls who don't want to intentionally do things are harder. And so my mission and the work that I do is make people know that it's not intentionally, or it's not reserved for the best and the brightest, but everybody, depending on how they're introduced to these concepts, can benefit from STEM and critical thinking and problem solving and find. That's the mission.
It's really solid. I mean, because let's be honest, when you get into further levels of education, STEM will, because of the severity of that studying, it will start to partition students' ability, because it gets a lot harder as you go on. So you're giving, folks the opportunity. Thing is though, there's some really good, capable students that get scared early on and they don't try as hard later on because they think they wouldn't do it. So I think what you guys are doing is really encouraging them to actually say, we want to do this. You sort of build a lot more confidence in them to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's
because
the goal.
Passing an exam is not hard. People can pass anything. You can memorize and rationalize and pass anything. It's just applying yourself and desire.
The kids will apply themselves to things that they find interesting, that they
Exactly.
enjoy. And so Sabina, what I'm hearing is, okay, more exposure in a way that sparks a love for STEM.
Yeah.
And those, it does
Exactly.
and that's not for every child, right? But there are so many children that never get that right frame for STEM that helps them see, oh my gosh, actually, this is it. That is so cool. I want to go do that. And that doesn't matter how bright someone is. If someone wants something, right, if they're interested, they're passionate about, they'll chase it. Now, we only have 4 minutes left. And Sabina, I know we always run out of time. Every single time we always run out of time. But I want to have you back. We have to have you back because we have to talk about this more. Education reform is something that we keep hearing over and over and over again from our guests at BizzTalk Africa, and you're doing it. But I want to shift the conversation just slightly, and that is, what about older students, young adults?
Great
How
question.
is your organization working? That the population in Africa is young, but it's mostly young adult, right? We're not.
Yeah.
There's certainly a lot of children, but there's still a lot of people who have a whole life ahead of them. They're not too old to keep learning. How do you guys get involved with that age group as well?
Yeah.
Excellent. How have you found is the best way to get involved with that old, like, again, older children or young adults, and still trying to find that?
That's a really interesting question. Actually, at the beginning, I indicated that Africa Hub is tackling the problem from, two focal points. So we're looking at the really young students, the really young ones, and then the postgraduate university students and high school students. So the way we do with the older students, and we realize that it's a little bit too late to integrate STEM education into their general knowledge and processes and systems. So we complement this by offering digital skills. So, graphics designing, website development, and computer programming. We have boot camps that address these types of problems. So that's what we do to make these people catch up on the skills that are going to help them to be attractive to the labor market. And I think so it has been really interesting. I think it's interesting to work. It's more interesting to work with this demographic, even though I'm not trying to be biased, because they are more, they are more accepting of it. They understand the importance, and they are willing to dedicate their time and their resources to really learning. And we've seen a lot of people who have subsequently found themselves in really comfortable spaces because of the skills that they have learned by themselves. And it gets me really humbled and encouraged to make more people to realize that, we are no longer in the paper and, era. Now everything has to go digital. It doesn't matter what career, what profession you find yourself in. You just have to use the right tools, digital tools, to enable you do what you're currently doing in a better way.
Absolutely.
100%.
I appreciate that, Sabina. We have, let's just say, 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
What are your closing thoughts, Sabina? What do you want to leave the audience with? And again, I really want to have you back because I know that you have more to say and more for us to talk about. And I know Vidi has more to say because she always has more to say. So we need to have you back again. But in these last 2 minutes, what would be your closing thoughts that you'd like to leave the audience with before they see you again next time?
Okay, so I think the one thing that I want the audience to remember, and I'm going to summarize that in the quote: when you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. When you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime.
Love that.
So I encourage people not to, give and instructors to just, give their students everything, but to allow them their time, give them the resources to think through, to identify real life problems, and to propose solutions that are going to address this problem. Because these are the skills that we need in the future. These are the skills that people are going to, leverage on to produce cutting edge technology and to solve the world's problems. So that will be my closing message.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sabina. I appreciate it. And
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming on the show, talking about your organization, sharing your philosophies, your thoughts. And as always, Vidya, thank you for being my wonderful co-host and always coming up with great questions and provoking the conversation. I love it. I love it. So
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
everyone. That was Sabina. Sabina, thank you for being here. Let's have you on again. But until next time, have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and yeah, get in touch with Sabina. To our audience, get in touch, get involved.
100%.
Sure, absolutely. Video is a mentor now, so we are going to definitely stay in touch. Thank you,
That's
Jason.
right.
It was
That's
a pleasure.
right.
I feel really humbled.
Pleasure. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Until next time, have a good
All
one.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.